never again. Okay? One moment here. All right. And you know, the Arabians have their tents pitched all over the earth. But if they're big in America, they're big here, but no longer will the Arabians pitch tent over in what we call Babylon. Absolutely. And a lot of them, based on the propaganda, are being squeezed. And as you know, and that, you know, a lot of them have to go back to their land. We know someone who have businesses there in America that's from the Middle East. You understand? And he was dealing with his business. He had to fly back because, you know, they was trying to freeze his money because he was taking money out of his bank account. So now through these new laws, if you're not in the country for a certain amount of time, they'll just freeze your account. Just because, listen, if he was from Europe, that wouldn't be a problem. But because he was from the Middle East, they got these new laws in place that's just making it hard for Middle Easterns to operate within some of these Western cultures, especially America. So a lot of these Middle Easterns are packing up their stores, packing up they're cutting their losses, and they're getting out of there. The gig is up. It's over. It's finished. If you haven't received anything out of Babylon, you can forget it. The place is finished. Now, we're at a point now, it's a decline. They have to bankrupt the world to put the world in what you would call financial purgatory, to keep you still. This is warfare. But I want to go into what will make this place like Sodom and Gomorrah, talking about the daughter of Babylon. So you have Obama and you have the so-called Israeli state in an attempt to thwart this prophecy. Don't think they don't know the Bible. Don't think they don't know these prophecies. They understand it. Let's go to Isaiah 54, 16 and 17. Read it.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
The Lord says he created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. Now, when a smith is blowing coals in the fire, what are they making? What are they shaping? Metal. They're shaping metal. So man wants to take all the credit for the idea of these missiles. But it's the Most High that put this in mankind's mind to make for this time. We're going to show you this. Read.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
That bloweth the coals in the fire. Read.
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Here's an instrument that will be used to fulfill these prophecies written in the Bible. Read.
And I have created the waster to destroy.
And the Lord says he's created the waster to destroy. Read.
Verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
But no weapon that is formed against the children of Israel, God's people, will prosper. So we don't fear these things that are coming. Read.
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn.
Let's go to Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. This is the prelude to 2nd Esdras 16. We're going into the war. Isaiah 50 and 14. Jeremiah, 50 and 14. This also, in Jeremiah 50, it speaks about the judgment of Babylon. All right? Jeremiah 50 and 14. Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon.
So the Most High is now telling all the armies in the earth to put themselves in array against Babylon. That means put on your battle gear. These are your armies. Read.
Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow.
All thee that bend the bow. Now back then it was bow and arrows, but now they're missiles. Okay? Now because this technology was not in the earth during the prophet's time, they had to use the information or use the technology that was afforded to them when they wrote prophecy. So when they were shown things being shot, the only thing they could relate it to was bow and arrow. But now, they're greater bows and arrows. So these arrows are speaking of nuclear missiles, nuclear warheads. Read it.
Isaiah chapter 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow.
All thee that bend the bow, read.
Shoot at her.
Shoot at her. Read.
Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Most High.
Spare no arrows, because she hath sinned against the Most High. And Babylon epitomizes the word sin. It promotes immorality. See, we're not going to separate America from the so-called Israeli state of America today. They're one and the same. They just playing hot potato in the news and make people think that they are two separate entities. They are one and the same. The example I can give is the other day in the news, it was publicized through the news that Iran was buying some new stealth jets from America. Israel. Thank you. Israel was buying some new stealth jets from America. Now, how can that be so? When the Prime Minister came out and said, yeah, this is what we're doing, we're going to purchase this. And then I heard on the American side of news that the money for these jets will come out of the financial or the finances of America that's paid to Israel annually. So hold up. Israel is buying weapons that they don't have to pay for because it comes out of Americans' money. So that was just propaganda. The only thing they were saying there is America is giving Israel weapons to fight against Iran, but they got to play this thing to show people there's two separate entities. They're one and the same. They're no different. They're no different. They're one and the same. There's no such thing as an Israeli state. You have an occupation of America in the Middle East. Now, I know some people might think that what we're saying is anti-Semitic, but again, I say that what we say is not anti-Semitic, because if I was anti-Semitic, I would be against myself. I'm not anti-Semitic, and that's a false term, saying Semitic. It's Shemitic. We're from the seeds of Shem, and we're not against ourselves. All right? We're just stating the truth here. Read. I need you to go down to the 25th verse about these weapons here. Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 25. The Most High hath opened his armory, and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
The Most High have opened his armory and have brought forth weapons of his indignation. Read.
For this is